important. And so you have to constantly be knowledgeable of people, even on the same teams. We just had a conversation before I went on stage. We were talking about this, where you and I, we had a good year, a great year together. Doesn't mean you and I are the same the next year. So you keep learning about the people that you're coaching. So I had to stay current with music. That's the very first thing. So
I can hear about you.
no, even though I didn't understand all the words of the music, if you could go about, I understand how you feel, and
Do you have a certain track? Do you have a certain
no, I'm an old Motown guy, and
current today.
but I like all music, and I learned to like it through my guys. And I might say the name of an artist, or I might say the phrase of a song, or whatever, to say, oh, coach has got it. Also, you gotta, I've been on contract with Nike, so I get good stuff, all right? And, so you can't wear stuff 10 years ago. You know, you can't wear what they wear because they only look good in what they wear. Right? You look like an idiot. But I come out with my Air Force Ones or whatever. And my last year of coaching, I remember one day at practice, one of my guys, before practice started, said, "Coach, your feet are hot." And I said, "No, they're not. They feel good." And I said, "No, your shoes." Said, "Oh, man." All right, so here's another thing. In coaching, the leader, you can get tired of one person's voice, no matter how vibrant the leader is. And so it's important for the leader to have other voices and other leaders on the team. So, like Coach Shire, we had a great succession plan. He's doing a great job at Duke. When he was my assistant, the other thing is, what was a 20-minute meeting 10 years ago, 8 minutes now, all right? And if you can show pictures, it helps, all right? And, but a lot of times for the meeting, I would say, "John, you take the meeting," or one of my captains, I'd say, "Look, during the meeting, I'm going to call on you. Feel comfortable in saying this," so they hear it. Whenever Coach Shire had the meeting, I sat behind the team. And he and I had a relationship where John was talking about something, and I'd say, "John, I got something to add." And when I said that, the guys had to turn. If I did that 2 times, they would remember those 2 things better than if I had the 8-minute meeting. And so, and then using music, we use music in practice and that to get a feel for what they're doing. So I'm constantly looking at communication. The accountability thing, you have to have accountability. And a lot of people look at accountability and they think negative. And it's not. Accountability is just meeting the truth head on. So can I use you as an example? Okay. Don't be offended. So
I hear Marine joke.
So no, just come on.
Roger.
Be coachable. Right?
Sorry.
All right,
I'm all yours, Coach.
all right, here we go. So you got a great sport going on now. You look great. The slacks, unbelievable. Shoes suck. No, they don't. No, they don't.
That's the 14.
But what I'm saying is in accountability, you should spend most of the time saying good things, like, "You're doing a good job. I like the way you're doing it." You know, you set a positive attitude for your team. And then just take a look at your shoes next time. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying, if it's only about what so-called people say is negative, it's not going to go. And so, can I tell a story about these? Okay, so,
Go, coach.
all right, this is the best.
There it goes. Coach Kobe.
So, I'm coaching the U.S. team for the Beijing Olympics in 2008. And we had Kobe Bryant, all these guys, LeBron James, and that. And we're adaptable, we're agile, we really have a close group. And we're playing our last exhibition game in Shanghai and against Australia. And it's going well. And then all of a sudden, Kobe, who, this is 2008, he was the best player in the world. LeBron was right there, and later, anyway, it all changed. At that time, Kobe, and he's beautiful. He's one of the great guys to coach. And during the game, he started taking not U.S. shots, he started taking Lakers shots. Nothing against the Lakers. They were not U.S. shots, they were crappy shots. They were not good shots. And there's a stop action, there's a free throw being taken, and I'm sitting, and LeBron James walks up to me, and he just looks at me, he goes, there's going to be a mutiny, all right? No, there is. This guy is just, what the heck is he doing? And so he looks at me, and I said, don't do anything. Trust me, and I'll take care of it. And guys, people of that talent, they look at you 2 or 3 times. So he looks at me again, I said, I'll take care of it. So that night, I stayed up all night with the staff because I was going to have to hold the best player in the world. So we took all his shots, really up all night, just before we go to Beijing. And I see Kobe, and I said, Kobe, I need to speak to you. He said, of course, coach. Are we going to a room? And I look at him, and I said, yesterday you took really bad shots. Really, if you take those shots, we won't win the gold, we won't win the silver, we won't win the bronze. We're not going to have a team. We won't win any. And so I showed him on tape. And then there's that moment where you have to hold him accountable. And I look him in the eyes. You're Kobe. Stud guy, all right? And he doesn't have to be Kobe. He's still be a stud guy. And I look at him. He's got these beautiful eyes. And it's that moment when, is it going to be World War III? I don't know what the guy's going to do. So I said, you understand, you cannot take those shots. And he looks at me and he says, okay. And my heart dropped. And you can't show this, but inside of me I said, I stayed up all night for him. Okay. This wasn't as hard as I thought. So fast forward though, we go to Beijing, and it's about 3.5, 4 weeks later, we're playing the toughest game I've ever coached in my life up until then in San Francisco. The Beijing gold medal game against Spain. With the Gasols, they were terrific. And it's, even the guys who were in the game will tell you it's probably the most intense game they ever played in. And so I get chills thinking about it. So it's last quarter, 8 minutes to go, we're up by 2, and there's a timeout. And it's our ball in front of our bench, and there's our basket. And you could feel the tension. You could cut it. My 3 daughters and my wife are in the stands like this. This is that moment. Okay? And so I sit down and I'm ready to write and draw a play that I hope will work. And as I'm starting to draw the play, the hand of the guy, beautiful moment. The hand of the guy I held accountable for something, Kobe. And he looks at me and says, Coach, we don't need to play. This is the moment we wanted to be in. We all wanted to be in this moment. And A lot of times when one player talks, other players talk. And all of a sudden LeBron James said something, Carmelo Anthony said something, and Dwayne Wade said something. And we leave the bench without a play. But remember I said the 3 A's? Agility, adaptability, and confidence. I lied to you, it's 4. We left the bench with the 4th A, called the winning attitude. Right? And instead of making one play, my guys make play after play after play. Just like in your organization, you want everybody to be able to have the winning attitude to make those plays. You know what? You want to go with that. Accountability is just having the courage to tell the truth because your team needs to know the truth. If you know you have to hold someone accountable and you're in this space and you do not do it, that space does not change. It keeps going forward. It's not good. It's not good for your team, it's not good for you, and it's not good for the person holding accountable. But if you change that, you change the space.
Yeah.
All right? And you know what? You know what it costs? Nothing. It does cost one thing. The most important thing that you can give to another person. Time.
Wow.
Yeah. Give time to your team, give time to the people you represent. Those 4 A's, boom, let's go.
Love it. Love it.